Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday to y'all. It's your boy Mike D, aka DDE80, aka 13th Wonder of the World, Mike DZ. Happy Tuesday to y'all. I hope y'all had a good weekend. I supposed to have came on yesterday, but I'm sorry that I didn't. But I'm here today for the point of view. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reed. Shout out to M Breeze and my little homie, my little niece Naya, my sister. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me on the point of view on this Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, the point of view is now not only on Spotify, but also on YouTube as well. So get your dose of the point of view on there. I'm on there now, trying to, with the help of God, make our point of view show. Everything got to do with the point. Make it as big as we can. It doesn't matter if it's music, sports, any type of entertainment. We're here for it. So we just want to say, just pray for us and pray with us as we get on with our pies, trying to make it better and trying to get it bigger. A lot happened over the weekend. Shout out to my boy LeBron James for scoring his 40,000 point against Denver. Even though they lost, he still made an achievement. Now the next goal is for him to get 41,000, which he probably will get next season. I think LeBron will probably retire with at least 43,000 points. Steph Curry is close to getting. I think he will. If he'll probably get 40,000. No telling with him how the way he shoots the ball, 3-point shooting as well. And they're also up in the rankings now. Golden State's down. The Lakers are now ninth. I just wish they could get to the sixth seed, man. I don't want to see them playing in a play-in again. Playing in a play-in, it worked for the Miami Heat last year because of the injuries, and they were more motivated. They were tougher than Milwaukee. They were tougher than New York. They were tougher than Boston, and they were able to go to the NBA Finals, but they lost. The Lakers are a team that could possibly do that. I don't know if they could go back to the Western Conference this year Finals if they play like that. They need to be a sixth seed. They need to try to do some winning, make some maneuvering go on. They need to try to get out of that ninth spot. They beat the OKC Thunder again. I think this is the third time the Lakers have beaten them this year. Uh, LeBron is still playing great, as well as AD's playing his game as well. Anthony Davis has been, even though the season has been up and down for the Lakers, Anthony Davis has played great this season, folks. He has, barring that he does not get injured anymore, he's been healthy, he's been an all-star, and he's been playing good this year. As well as D'Lo. D'Lo's come off of he's no longer a part of the trade piece. He got that monkey off his back. He's able to play now freer, more confident. He's doing his thing as well. But I still think that the Lakers need to try to pick up another guy, another superstar in the free agency next year. I think you go for Donovan Mitchell. I think you try to go for Klay Thompson. I think you try to at least try to go all you can, go all out to try to get one of those guys. And sign all these other guys to, the minimum or whatever. They'll play if they want to have a shot at winning a championship. I still think that the Lakers could possibly win the championship next season. I think LeBron James will get championship number 5. That's me. I'm hoping that he does. He's already got 4.5. And I keep saying the half for the in-season championship tournament that they won, the first one. So, LeBron's the first guy to do that as well. So he's won an in-season tournament this year. He's the first guy to ever score 40,000. So he's still making history over history over history. So congratulations to the great LeBron James. Now, with that being said, I also want to talk about the AEW pay-per-view that came on Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all that still won, and congratulations to people that still had it. Also, before I go into that, the Clippers did beat the T-Wolves this week as well. Great game by, Leonard, Harden, and I think they're out with Russell Westbrook. I think Russell Westbrook is injured as well, but we'll see what the Clippers do as well. Caitlin Clark will go pro, and now I will talk about AEW, ladies and gentlemen. The pay per view results from the pay per view from this week's are Roderick Strong beat Orange Cassidy to become the AEW International Champion, which I kind of figured let me just talk about that for a second, which I kind of figured out that was going to happen because OC has been champion of that title for like 2 or 3 times. It's time for somebody else to get it. The OC, which is Orange Cassidy, he needs to try to figure out something else to do in AEW. He doesn't need to be the international champion all the time. Although he's one of the trailblazers for the title, don't get me wrong. He has his hashtag and his footprint on it. So, excuse me, I was drinking a little something, drinking a little orange juice. But the thing about it is, I think he now needs to go for at least try to go to the TNT title or even try to go for the world title. That's just my theory on that. Or go for the Ring of Honor title. Those are the belts that I think Orange Cassidy could possibly win if you wanna put him in that type of department, in that type of division, and that's up to Tony Khan. But I think it's time for him to move up a little bit. But with that being said, Wardlow also won. So Wardlow's now a #1 contender for the AEW World title. So remember the promise that Wardlow made to Adam Cole. If he wins the title, the AEW World title, he's going to give the title to Adam Cole, which I think that's probably not going to happen. I think Wardlow's going to be on his own. If he wins the title, that's a good deal for him to be the AEW World Champion, excuse me. Not only that being said, let me break something else down, and I'll tell you what it is. Right now, the Undisputed Kingdom has all the titles except for the world title. They're the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, which is Taven and Bennett. Now you have the AEW International Champion in Roddy Strong, which deserves it. Don't get me wrong. He deserves that title. Now, let me talk about what else is there. Kyle O'Reilly is back. So Kyle O'Reilly's back, and he congratulated Roderick Strong on winning. But does that mean he's going to be down with them? I don't know. It's a possibility that could happen. So folks, we'll figure that out when that comes through as well. Bang, 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 Scissor Gang, excuse me. They defeated Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Willie Mack, and the big tall guy that they have, the sing guy. I don't know what's going on with Jay Lethal. I think Jay Lethal they need to put Jay Lethal in a Ring of Honor for the Ring of Honor champion. I think he deserves that title again. I think you put him into a title match with Samoa Joe. I think you put him in something that makes him a little more value than what's going on with the great Samoa Joe as well as the great Jay Lethal. I think you go Joe versus Lethal for the title. That's just me talking. I hope that, that they could do something better with Samoa Joe as well as Jeff Jarrett. I think Jeff Jarrett would make a Ring of Honor television champion. Even though he's contributed a lot to the business, I still think that Jeff Jarrett is a big monumental piece of the business as well. Also, TBS champion Julia Hart and Sky Blue, they lost to Willow and Chris Stadlander. Um, I don't know where that's gonna go, but I think somebody on the Stadlander Willow Nightingale team is gonna turn on each other. We don't know when it's gonna be, sooner or later, but I think it's gonna happen. Stokely Hathaway is gonna have his chance with one of those guys as a full-flown heel. That's what I think. Congratulations to Joe for retaining, Christian, Tony Storm retaining. I don't know where Daniel Garcia goes now after he lost to Christian. I think you still go with Edge versus Christian for the TNT title. I think that Joe will possibly beat. I mean, not Joe, excuse me. I think Edge will possibly beat Christian. And I think that, Edge finally gets his first ever AEW title. And everything will be pretty peachy if Edge wins. Not only that, where does Swerve and Hangman go? I think you still go back with Hangman versus Swerve again. I really wish they would put a title, a singles title on Swerve, man. I think Swerve needs to go ahead and fight for a title, a regular title. He could be the TNT champion if they wanted to. He could be a Ring of Honor television champion. He could be the Ring of Honor world champion if they wanted it to go that way with him. So we'll see what happens with those two. But Hangman Page is a full heel now. So, with that being said, I hope that, they do something with Swerve soon, man, because Swerve deserves to be a champion in AEW. The Virtuoso, Deanna Purrazzo, she lost a chance at a title to Toni Storm. I don't think the storyline is over. I think that her and Toni Storm will probably fight again, and I think the next time they fight, she beats her. I don't think you bring her way to she comes from TNA to AEW to just be there. I think she's there to win a title, and I hope that she can win one. Or, as unfair as this sounds, I want to say this here. I think you put her in the TBS title, and I think you let her beat Julia Hart. That doesn't sound fair, but that's what it looks like it possibly happened, folks. I'm not trying to be saying that it's not fair or whatever, but I'm just telling you what is happening, and these are just some possibilities that happen in the sport of wrestling. So this is what it is, I'm just speaking from my point of view, no pun intended. FTR loses to the Blackpool, club. Cesaro, Claudio, aka, and John Moxley. I think now that since Moxley and Claudio won, I think you should put them in the tag team title hunt, which now, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, why I think that they could be possible contenders for it. And the thing about that is this. They would make a great tag team. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Segue to something else. Speaking of the Blackpool Combat Club, let me talk about Eddie Kingston, who finally got his stripes by beating Bryan Danielson. I still don't understand why Bryan Danielson has not won a title in AEW. He's not just there to lose and not to win a title. He's another guy that's on a limited time in AEW. Put a title on him. And I'm going to leave it at that. But congratulations to Eddie Kingston for retaining the AEW Continental Championship. He still has 3 titles, folks. The Ring of Honor World title, which I think Swerve could possibly win if they wanted him to. The New Japan Strong title. And, of course, the AEW Continental title. So, I don't know who else going to fight Eddie Kingston now. One of the Ortiz and Santana, one of those guys are now not in AEW anymore. So I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Where does Mike Santana goes now since he's no longer in AEW? And he could be coming to WWE. I think WWE could use him. I think they could use him. I think TNA could possibly get him, or NWA Power could possibly get him. Nobody knows right now, but hey, it is what it is. We're just, seeing what we're seeing come along our airwaves. And that's just another, process of what I'm saying. I'm trying to process everything in on how things are going in the business of professional wrestling. Excuse me. Man, that orange juice is good. So with that being said, let me also talk about what now happens because of the main event, ladies and gentlemen. The main event was Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks. And I am telling you this, I am wrong. I apologize to you people for saying that the Young Bucks were going to beat Sting and Darby, which I also said about this here. Another thing I was talking about, I did say this a while back. I said, what would happen if Sting left AEW undefeated, which he did. The last person to win their last match in a company was Edge. Because Edge, twice, when Edge retired back in 2011, Edge won the world title in his last match when he beat Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania. Remember that. And the next night he had to retire. Edge also lost after he came back, but he was able to win the rest of them. Ladies and gentlemen, when Edge retired from WWE last year, I think it was around about October, he won his last match against Sheamus in Toronto. So Edge was a guy that did what Sting did. Sting won his last match in AEW as a champion, as a tag team champion. The theatrics was great. The tribute that they gave to Sting was great. We saw Steamboat there. We saw Flair there. Shout out to Steamboat and Flair. The total package Lex Luger was there. Shout out to Magnum TA, not P-I-T-I, but T.A., Terry Allen. He was there. There were a lot of guys that came there and supported Sting. And even WWE gave a shout out to Sting because he's a former WWE, he's a WWE Hall of Famer. They gave him respects as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you go on YouTube, there's 8 hours of Sting's AEW run on YouTube, if they haven't taken it down. And all of the matches that Sting had, they were 8 hours worth. It was very interesting to watch, listen, and see from the beginning to up to when Sting and Edge teamed up. I think that was the last one until he told everybody he was retiring. I think the last match they had on there was him and Christian when they had the match, with Edge on their team, on Sting's team. So let me just say this. It was a great moment to see the icon Sting retire. His sons came out there and they dressed up like his old characters, the Man Called Sting and the Wolfpack Sting. It was great. I know a lot of people didn't like it. The time-honored tradition didn't go the way it went this time because I told, shout out to Fadeaway, I told Fadeaway this. I said if Sting was in WWE and he was retiring, he probably would have lost his last match. But thank God that Tony Khan and them decided to let Sting win his last match in AEW so that he goes out and retires with his head up high. Even though people lose, doesn't mean that their head is not hung up high. It means that, you're just doing the job. Well, the Young Bucks did the job for Sting by letting Sting beat them and Darby win. Now, you retire a tag team champion. Now let's talk about the effect of what this was. So Sting and Darby wins the tag team, retain the tag team titles. So now here is the answer. And the question is this. What do you do now that Darby's by itself? So what has happened, what I said what was going to happen, if they would have won, there's going to be a tournament for the tag team titles. I say to myself this. I say Darby teams up with OC and they fight for the tag team titles. They go into the tournament and try to fight for these tag team titles. Moxley and Cesaro have a chance. FTR is going to have a chance. You look at all the tag teams that AEW has. Big Bill and Ricky Starks have a chance. Menard and Angelo, they're going to have a chance. Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne could possibly have a chance. I'm just naming off tag teams. The Hardy Boys, they're going to have a chance as well. Private Party. All these tag teams are going to have a chance to win the AEW tag team titles now that they have been stripped from Darby Allin. Not Sting, but Darby Allin. Because Darby Allin is now back again by itself. Do you want to put Darby back in the tag team? Yes. Is it the right thing to do? I don't know. Should it happen? Yes. Do you think they're going to make it harder for Darby? Yes. Do we have like I said, he has a chance with whoever he tags up with. Because he's going to tag up with somebody. And that's just me, and I'm telling you this because I think that's what's going to happen in this situation now. Because you got to have the titles put on somebody. That plain simple. But despite all that, congratulations to Sting. There will be a special podcast I'm going to do sometime this week about the icon Sting. Sting has been a part of my life for the last, close to 39 years. I'm only 43. And you asked me that why, I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm saying this. Because when I was a young child, I watched Sting. Sting was like one of the first wrestlers I watched. Him, Flair, The Horseman, Lex Luger, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, Dusty Rhodes, the Road Warriors. Those were the guys that I watched a lot of. The Steiners as well. But Sting was the cool guy. Everybody liked the Sting. Everybody loved Sting. He finally retired from active wrestling. I don't think he's going to be out of the business. I think he's just not going to be in the ring. And as a 65-year-old man, Sting still got it, folks. He's up for par for what he's doing. And shout out to the Stinger again. Like I said, I will be doing a podcast on Sting on my top 30 greatest Sting matches. And they come from TNA, WWE, AEW, NWA, all of that. All of Sting, all of what Sting has, you know, the companies he's wrestled for. Not only that, though, you know, we see, you know, what has happened with AEW now as we go past, now we go on from the post-Sting era to see what happens now with the wrestling. Who's Joe going to fight now for the AEW title? Who's going to be the new AEW Tag Team Champions? Is Deonna Purrazzo and Tony Storm going to do it again? Is Edge now going to come back and fight Christian for the TNT title? Where does Danny Garcia go? Who's going to fight Eddie Kingston for the AEW Continental? The AEW, AEW Continental title. Where does the Bang Bang Scissor Gang go now? Are they still going to be a team? It's a lot of things. When does Willow Nightingale go up against Julia Hart for the TBS title? It's plenty of things to go on in the business. What's going to happen now with Ruby, Soho, and Soraya and all them, since now they turned their back on her, on Ruby Solos? I'm talking about Mariah May and Harley, one of the girls. I can't remember their names off the tip of my tongue. But what's going to happen now with that storyline as well? We'll see what happens as Dynamite comes on tomorrow after the post-Sting era. Last night, Monday Night Raw, it's great. Great main event Jey Uso and the number one contender for the world heavyweight title, that is Drew McIntyre. Looks like Jey was going to win again, but Drew beats him again because of the bloodline. Yes, Jimmy Uso will be fighting against Jey Uso at WrestleMania. That match is going to happen. It's coming. They're just waiting to announce it. Shout out to Paul Heyman, the wise man, the advocate. He's the first guy inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame for 2024. Congratulations to Paul Heyman. You can never, ever in a million years discount what Paul Heyman has done for the business of wrestling. I remember Paul Heyman when I was a child, when he used to have that hair on his head, that phone, and that suit when he had his group called the Dangerous Alliance. And that's when I remember Paul Heyman. I remember ECW Paul Heyman when he helped created ECW. A great thing for him as well. And then he came back to WWE when ECW folded and became an advocate to everybody. He was helping a lot of people. He was helping a lot of people get through what he had to get through to make it happen, So shout out to Paul Heyman for being the first inductee of the 2024 Hall of Fame. With that being said, we know that Cody and Seth are going to be on SmackDown this Friday to accept the challenge of Rock and Roman for night one at WrestleMania in a tag match. But I'm here to tell you, Seth Rollins is going to get a crash course because Drew McIntyre is not going to let him make it. Every time he's going to sock him. And that's exactly what he did to him this past Monday on Raw. He Claymore kicked him. And in one way, Drew McIntyre is right. Man, you have a whole world title match you need to be worried about. You are worrying about a showcase match when you have a world title match to worry about that Sunday. And Drew McIntyre is right about that. And that's why I said that one of these guys, out of these three that are fighting, Because Rock's not gonna wrestle WrestleMania Sunday. He's gonna be there, but he's not gonna wrestle WrestleMania Sunday. But that means that either Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, or Seth Rollins is gonna lose twice. They're gonna lose both nights of WrestleMania. Who's gonna be that guy? We'll find out. Also, Becky Lynch, her road to WrestleMania is kind of tough. She now has to deal with Liv Morgan and Nia Jax again. So we'll see what happens with that as well. As next week, it's going to be Liv versus Becky in a one-on-one match. Not only that, the Intercontinental title match, they're going to have a six-person gauntlet in the match. Shinsuke Nakamura, Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, Ricochet, those four guys as well. JD, 5, and who's the other guy? Did I name all of them? It's going to be Sami, Ricochet, JD, Shinsuke Nakamura. Bronson Reed is the last guy, folks. My bad. Bronson Reed is going to be the last guy in there. And so this is Sami Zayn's to win, folks. In a possible 2 or 3, I say it's going to be either, if I had 3 guys I think could possibly win this gauntlet, it would be Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed. I don't think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win. I don't think JD is going to win. I don't think Ricochet is going to win. It's going to be either Sami, it's going to be either Bronson Reed, or it's going to be Chad Gable. It's going to be one of those guys that wins that gauntlet next week. And I'm thinking it's going to be Sami Zayn, because I think Sami Zayn can beat Gunther at WrestleMania and become the Intercontinental Champion. That would be his story if he can win. If he can win the story, win that and get his story, then I think you go with that story right there with Sami Zayn. And after Gunther loses, spear him straight to the top of the mountain where he fights for the world title. He goes to Money in the Bank. He wins. Now, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, still the tag team champions. DIY, Awesome Truth, they're going to be one of those teams right there that beats Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the tag team titles. Although they had a great match last night against Imperium, don't get me wrong, as well as Dom had an okay match with Gunther, even though he tapped out. But I'm here to tell you guys, those are the guys that are going to do what they need to do to get to WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm still thinking that the Awesome Truth is going to be the team that wins at Mania. I still think Damian Priest could cash in and win the title at WrestleMania. I still think that myself. I think you put the title on Drew. He comes in, cashes in, and, wins the title like that. If you're going to do it like that. If you think that that's what they need to have. If you think that's exactly what needs to be done. If you want that, that's just me talking about, what happens in the business of wrestling, professional wrestling. It's all good. What else happened on Raw last night? That's basically about all right there that happened on Raw last night. It's just the road, the path to WrestleMania is coming. It's already started, but as you see, the moving pieces are coming. Moving pieces are going here and yonder, as well as Andrade with his win over Apollo Crews, which I had been saying that I want to see Apollo Crews back on Raw. And he got back on Raw only to lose to Andrade. What's the next move for him? That's a mystery. That's another talk that everybody's going to see, and everybody's going to want to know What is going on with Andrade? It's just that, plain and just that simple, folks. What's happening with them as well. Um, on a side note, let me talk about something before I get off the air. The communities need to come together a little more. Uh, some of our youth are getting shot up, dying, and things like that. I'm praying that God protects all of us through these hard times. It really is hard times right now. Our young people are getting taken out. Like the books say, the enemy's here to steal, kill, and destroy. Destroy your peace, take your life, kill your life, steal your joy. And I just want everybody to know that, we just gotta keep the Lord first in our lives, man. Because that's the only protector that can help us through it all, through the thick and thin, man. Sorry about the sirens outside, but you can hear the sirens and the police. But I want everybody to know that we're praying. Let us pray for our youth, as well as our elders, as well as our elders, as well as our middle age, as well as our adults. Man, it's tough now, man. Every time you're hearing about somebody getting shot and killed. And we just want our kids to grow up and just have a great life, man. We just want our kids to grow up and do what they need to do to get what they want to get. And I'm talking about an education, a career, and all these things, folks. That's what we're aiming for. Nobody else can say that's not what it is, but yes, it is. We're praying and we're hoping that everything goes all right with these kids, you know, as we get ready for, you know, our future. You guys enjoy today. Enjoy this Tuesday. Enjoy tonight NBA as well as NCAA basketball, women's and men's, as we start getting ready for March Madness. Not only that, but also NXT comes on tonight. The Kabuki Warriors. Oh yeah, and I forgot to talk about that as well. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark will either go up against the Kabuki Warriors or Lyra Valkyrie and Tatum Paxley. I believe that it's going to be the Kabuki Warriors against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, because I think what's going to happen tonight is Tatum Paxley is going to finally show her true colors and jump and attack Lyra Valkyrie. I think that's what's going to happen tonight. I could be wrong, but I seriously doubt it, folks. I think that's what's going to happen tonight with Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyrie as their storyline starts to hit. Not only that, also, I think it's the Wolf Dogs against the Chase U. I think that's a match that's going to happen tonight as well. I think Chase U goes up against them. I think the Wolf Dogs win. I still believe that it's going to come down to the Wolf Dogs and the OC. I think Braun Breaker is going to really become a full-fledged SmackDown superstar after, him and Corbin lose the tag team titles. That's just my theory on that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, as I close out the point of view, I don't know, maybe I might do another podcast right now, talk about something a little different on a point of view. I think I'm going to do with, some of my picks for greatest NBA players. I think that's going to be a podcast that everybody can enjoy as well. But thank you for listening. This is part one. I will be back on with part two for today on this day of March the 5th, 2024 on this Tuesday. There will be another podcast coming up shortly. But until then, God bless you. God keep you.